Go for it on BBC Radio Gloucestershire. We've got Blur on the way and that fantastic song from Spandau Ballet. Just love it. I'll Fly For You. That's coming up on the show. Very nearly 11:15. Welcome along. Now, there's been widespread condemnation of the racial abuse aimed at Marcus Rashford, Jadon Sancho and Bukayo Saka after England's Euro 2020 final defeat to Italy. As you'll know by now, the three of them were targeted after they missed penalties. And it's led to calls for social media companies to do more to ban accounts connected to abuse and to make it easier to prosecute. The Watford captain Troy Deeney sits on the FA's Inclusion Advisory Board and he says the discussion must continue.
It's good to see the drowning out of noise. I like the way that the community has come together. I think it's massive and we have to continue pushing the message, and you hope that this is a positive change and that we don't just speak about this for, the short term until more news comes up that's relevant and then we forget about it.
Troy Deeney there. Well, people are continuing to leave messages of support and solidarity at the vandalised mural of Marcus Rashford, and an internet petition calling for those who racially abuse the players online to be banned from all England matches for life has attracted more than 800,000 signatures. It's been described as the ugly face of football. Well, PC Steph Lawrence is the hate crime coordinator for Gloucestershire Police, and I asked her if there's been an increase in reports here since the match.
I think it's too soon to say at the moment, Nikki. It doesn't mean to say it isn't happening, but I haven't picked up on anything yet which would suggest it was football related in terms of racial hate crime or any other hate crime. But again, that doesn't mean to say it's not happening. But the important message that we'd like to get out today is that we encourage people to come forward and tell us what's going on. Even if they don't want to pursue it, we need to know it's happening.
Yeah, of course. And we've seen this play out, as I mentioned, since that whistle went. I mean, literally seconds after the match ended, I was seeing on social media messages saying, please, everyone, please do not racially abuse these players. But of course, we know what happened since. And it's just been appalling to see what comes out after the end of the match.
Absolutely is, and as we've discussed, I'm a huge football fan. But when the start of the match and the booing of another country's national anthem kind of tells you where it's going to go, and like a lot of people, and I've seen the comments on social media, three black men miss a penalty and that sinking feeling that there's going to be an entourage of racism. I'm not surprised by it, particularly working in the field that I do, that it was going to happen. It's how we manage it moving forwards, and encouraging other agencies and social media companies to be doing more around this. As you know, it's not solely a police problem. We've got a very strong relationship across the county here in Gloucestershire, where we all take equal responsibility to try and stamp out hate. A county-wide strategic partnership meeting is held quarterly at our headquarters. Not so much in the past year, it's had to go online like a lot of meetings, but we usually meet at headquarters. Education, health, housing come together and tell us what they've been doing to help embed our strategic plan, which I'll talk about in a minute. I should imagine when we get together again, nobody will be surprised by what we've seen. It's a sad state of affairs. It is a minority of individuals, but a minority can do an awful lot of harm to people. And the fact that this has been so public, I'm hoping now that individuals who are pessimistic about this work will now see that this isn't just about being easily offended. It's really abhorrent behaviour. It has a huge impact on people's mental health and well-being, and we need to stop it. We need to get a hold of it.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned social media companies as well as what's being done here in Gloucestershire. It's also social media companies which have been blocking accounts and, making sure that those people who have made those comments can't leave any more comments. It's difficult to know what will ultimately be done to stamp this out, and something that must be taking a long time. It has taken a long time already. What responsibility do those companies have, do you think, the social media companies?
I think once it's reported, to take it down in a timely manner. I don't think you're ever going to fully stop it. It's impossible to do that. And I know there is a data intelligence that they have when somebody creates duplicate accounts over and over again. They've got software now where they can tell that's happening and they can bar the individuals. But we need to act quickly when it's up there because it escalates so quickly. There are people been operating on other platforms and running pages where they have a celebrity status, basically hitting on targeted groups of people, and it's seen as funny, and it isn't funny. It causes a lot of damage. This isn't about having an impact on people's right to freedom of expression. We're not trying to cancel people out, as they say, and we're not an easily offended woke movement. This is purely about keeping people safe from harm and treating people with the equality and the respect that they deserve. There is a difference between having a sense of humour and targeting people through racism, homophobia, sexism, and causing harm to people.
Yeah, and we heard actually on the programme this week from someone who was working within the England camp, a journalist who was there, who knows how much this would have affected the players. You know, it only takes one or two messages. They've had an overwhelming amount of support since. Of course, we've seen the outpouring since, but of course those messages will hurt, especially after missing the penalty and the whole situation with that.
Absolutely right. I mean, I've had conversations since when somebody raised with me that David Beckham received some abuse following an England football match, but the difference was David Beckham didn't receive racial abuse. And I'm not saying that it was right what happened to him, but this is targeted hostility and hatred. You know it's there, it's bubbling underneath the surface, and it's just one minor thing waiting for it to come out. And we must make it so unpopular that people don't have this platform to go around abusing other people, because usually it happens in numbers and there's a lot of support behind them when they're doing it.
PC Steph Lawrence, the hate crime coordinator for Gloucestershire Police. We'll hear more from Steph very soon. And